Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and we're going to change things up a little bit. So before I had said that we are going to make 5 cards and then work on our front, other pages, and so forth. We're going to stop at the 3 cards because I know these are clips and I know I have things clipped in there. I don't want it to alligator. I don't want to have an alligator mouth. I love the chunky look, and this will have some chunkiness to it, but I don't want it to get too far out. So we're going to stop with the cards. I'm going to feature on the outside cover and the back cover this beautiful large die set, and this is called the Snowflake Card Creator. So this is big enough to create a full-size card. But I'm going to use it and place it here as the decoration along with all the foliage that comes with this. So I'll be featuring this in the last video. So this is the second to last. What we're going to do here is I'm going to work on each of the pages. Meaning if there are flips, magnetic closures, creating the holding mechanism for each of these cards, but still to be able to get them out of the album. These cards can either work as your greeting card or your photo mats. So keep that in mind. And that's what we're going to work on in here. Now I have everything cut with what I want to do. I'm going to show you magnetic closures and also spinning closures for these, and we're just going to work, as I said, on the inside. So today's video, inside, getting everything adhered, getting everything glued down, remembering what goes where when it comes to those magnetic closures, because I always forget when it comes to levels and so forth. And then in our last video, I'm going to show the outside, front, back, and spine covers, and then we'll do the final reveal. So yeah, we always change our minds as we're creating. And again, yes, I've got a lot of clips, I've got everything sitting in there, but even with that, this is too much of an alligator right now, and I don't want it to get overboard. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm going to set this off to the side. I have prepped some things that I will be using for the areas that we're going to work on. Just need to grab my punchy board in case I need that, and I'm going to set this off to I'm going to keep this right here. Yeah. All right, so let's open this. And I am going to pull out or pull off this clip. And I'm going to pull out all the pages that are attached to this page. But I need to keep the clip on so that I can keep the, I need to keep that in place, or I'll just remember. All right. So we're going to work backwards. I am one, when it comes to albums, to map it out. One of the things that I love about scrapbook albums and making them is it can slow you down. It can refresh your mind and say, okay, what are we doing here? Where do we want to go? Are we putting a magnetic, just making a note here. Are we making a magnetic closure? Are we making a belly band? Where do we have to do that? Because again, this goes in steps. So I could easily take my pattern paper, I could easily layer this up and put it down, and that's done. The problem is, or the things that we do want to remember is, I have 2 flips here, okay? And I need to make sure that I have the flips the way that I want them. Okay, so we always have to remember that. So I always, you know, have my pieces layered, and see, I'm already missing a piece. Always layer your pieces. I know where that piece is. That's not my piece. All right, hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. We are back. Had to find my piece. I actually put it away, trying to be neat. Shouldn't try to do that. Embrace the chaos. So here are my pieces. I'm going to have two flaps that are coming in this way. Here are the two flaps. So they're going to flip this way. So first I want to make sure you can see, okay, that one's already upside down. Making sure that the papers are there. These are the way that the hinges are going to go. I need to make sure, my first step is to get my base down. Going to glue this onto that. Now, again, this is how my mind works. Yours works absolutely differently. But I just like to have everything cut as I'm building this. I also have notes, Post-its, everything going on. Before I put this in here, I want to wrap these around this piece. So I'm going to set one where I think I want it, and I'm going to use my liquid adhesive. And I want to make sure I get as close to edge. Don't cover your score line. And I'm going to set this down. And I want to make sure I can close it, leaving just a little bit of a gap. And I'm going to close her down. And pinch. I'm going to bring in my paper creaser and pinch that down. So now we have that in there. I'm going to do the same thing now to the other side, keeping this one down. Going to use one of my clips. So there's a couple pages that I'm going to show, you know, just a regular one, and then we're just going to fast forward through this. So this isn't not so much a step-by-step, because this would take forever, but just to show, here's how I'm doing my flips, here's how I'm doing a belly band. So heads up. Putting a clip here so that I can line this up. Again, I'm going to put my glue down just as I did before. And now when I place this, I want to make sure that it's even. I'm going to close down and I'm going to shift this up so that those pages are even, and make sure I push in. That's the beauty of liquid glue. You have time to maneuver this piece so that it's straight. Now we can set this onto this page, but I'm going to wait because we have a couple other steps to do. And one of the things that I'm going to do is first open this up, and I'm going to put my mats, not my pattern paper, but my mats. So I chose light blue for the inside. Okay, our mats are down. I want this to go this way. I want this side, right side, to be on top. So now I need to get my magnets. Oh, these are strong. And I'm going to use two. This is a pretty big square, so I'm going to put one here and here. And I'm going to find, here's my double-sided tape. So I'm going to grab a couple magnets. I always find something metal to put them on so I don't lose them. And I can still use them. And I'm going to pick this one up, and I'm going to pick that one up. So now I want to say, okay, where do I want these? So I'm going to take these down to about here. And I'm going to put that one there. Yes. I'm going to grab two more magnets. I'm going to place them on top of where these sit. I'll cut one piece of tape. Grab this, put that down on the tape, put that back on top. Do the same thing. I'm going to close this down, press, and lift. So now the magnets are in place, and I'm sorry if I was shaking the camera there, but again, this is, you know, you're kind of moving when it comes to this. Now I can put my pattern papers. I save my pattern papers for last when it comes to magnets to make sure that I have it. I could have put it, I didn't want to put it under my solid mat. That's a lot of cardstock going on. Now these are very strong. I got these off of Amazon. They're down listed in my Amazon store. I have one set up for scrapbook albums, but I wanted to make sure that they would come through. Okay, so let's do our insides first. So this is going to here. I have a wider border on that. I really wanted that to kind of stand out there. And same thing with this. And our first page is in. And if you noticed, I opened these when I was putting this down in the book. Again, these magnets are strong. They're going to bow the paper. So just open up all your flats that are on your page if you have them, and you'll be able to get this down flat. But now we have these nice scenes. We can put photos here. These can be photo mats. These can be photo mats. And you can just continue to have fun with it. All right, the next page that I'm going to show you, let me get my clip back on. And again, there's just one more, a lot of belly bands. I've already shown you a flip style. And I think the belly band that I'm going to show you, and again, when it comes to the cards, this one, and this one are all belly bands. The best way to hold them. And we're going to pull in our old snowflakes that we used previously. We're going to put those to great use. I think I'm going to go right to the back again and show you how this one is going to work. I'll pull off all of my pages. We have a lot of bulk in this one, and it's a reason why we will be using magnets, because I do want that stronger bond. You can create belly bands just with another piece of cardstock and they interlock together. I think the force is just going to pull them apart. Okay, so these are the two pieces that you'll need. Now, whenever I'm connecting something, I do like to put that one edge. And for this, I'm just going to crease these. For these, I've created a 1/2 inch gusset. They're not going to be flat. I want that gusset there. So this is going to be adhered in the back like we did our flaps to attach the mechanism. But I've got all of this wonderful room that's going to sit there. I'm not hardly pressing on this, and you can see just how chunky that is. Remember, this is that beautiful pop-up snowflake, and I'm off camera, pop-up snowflake that we created. I don't want to completely crush that, but I need to look at the thickest part there. I'm going to take this and I'm going to set this aside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my creases set. I'm going to get my pattern papers layered on these so that we can get them ready to start putting this together. Here's the beauty of wet glue. I am going to make a change because, again, magnetic closures, and did not think this through. See what happens? And it does. It happens. But you know what? It's okay. We're going to trim around our pattern paper. And I'm going to see if I can continue to pull that apart, to take away some of the bulk without creating a hole. And there we go. This is going to go on this side, and this is going to be the underneath piece. So I know I can put this piece here. And these are going to be the same front and back. For this one, I know that I can put my top on because it's underneath that I want to do this. So for my underneath, I know I can put my cardstock, a solid, and I can do everything else on the top. Okay, so this needs to go on here, but we've got to get our magnets, and I am going to put 2. And then this needs to go onto a piece of green cardstock. So let me get that. Okay, so let's just walk through what I did. So I had a hole punch and I used the small snowflake from the pop-up center snowflake set. Used the brad again, just like I did in the 4 corners. And then I had a punch for a tag, and then I went around it with the craft to continue the matting look. I punched through the snowflake, the circle, and the tag, and the top layer before I hit that second mat. I don't need to go through this mat that's going to get attached to the page, just this one page. I added my tape, and then once it's in, you want to make sure that it moves. It was a little tight at first, and as you keep doing this, it's not making the brad fall out, it's just loosening it up there. What I'm going to be doing is putting in this flap to the outside so that this will hold it down. You'll be able to turn this so that this will come out. Again, it's going to be snug, but I'm okay with that because you can actually turn it that way and she will open. I always like, you know, when it comes to the flips, I should have moved it over just a little bit, but it's still workable because this is going to, I mean, I have this snugged right up here. This is going to be out just a little bit. So now I'm going to continue to work on this flip, and we're going to put a pocket inside, and then you'll see how it all looks when it's together. So you can see Snowflake is glued onto the circle. This is not glued on to the tag. The tag is not glued to the paper, but we punch through those just so that we can get this to move. Where we really need it to move, because I'm going to put a piece of tape over. So we're sitting up too high there. I'm going to cover the prongs of the brad with some tape, and I'm going to put this piece down onto our backing. Now I'm not worried about this tag or this swing being even with the other one. I like a little quirkiness in the pieces. You saw that I was going to put that center piece where the pocket is in there crooked, and I felt you all screaming. I heard it. I heard the scream, and it was saying, no, don't do that. So you all were with me. You all can say in the comments, yes, I was one of those people. Nope, I was saying no, no. And actually, I'm pretty close. That's funny. Okay, so now I'm just going to continue on to creating the flip for this piece as well. Now you saw for a pocket, cut your piece to the size you want, the finished size that you want, add an inch for the side, and then add a ½ inch. And then I just miter out the corners. And then you want to make sure that, of course, you fold and burnish, 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 burnish. You want to say burnish, not varnishing anything. And I do like to have the sides in so that when you're sliding things, they don't get caught. But either way, you know, it's fine. It's going to do what it's going to do, and then I just have my piece on top. So let's get this going, and we'll get this one done. And then that will be our last one. You'll actually get our cards inside of our album to see what that looks like. Okay, so we got everything in, we've got our flips, and we have our cards. I am very glad that I did not add any more cards to the inside. I am going to be alligating here. Let me take these off. I know now that these are my covers. And I know that this is my spine. So you can see when I set this up, I mean, she just wants to go. And that's, I mean, and again, that's okay. When we have this tied, she won't look as bad. But it is, you know, coming up. But again, I like the chunky look. I think it just makes it look full. We've got a lot of layers in here. So again, we have our flip here. Again, they can choose, you can even put a pocket down here if you wanted to. You have the room because of the mats that we used and how we put our flaps in. We can, I wanted to get this way. We have our card here, and we're going to be decorating in the last. And again, we have this card here. Remember, it's the easel that sits up. And we're going to put this in here. For this one, probably didn't need to do a 1/2 inch. Could have gotten away with 1/4 inch. But I mean, she's pretty secured in there. And we're going to make her more secured. Here we have our second card here. It's our flip. And again, this flip is a vertical, so she's not going to go anywhere. We have our turning pages here with a pocket so we can add stuff there. We have our spinning closures, and we're going to decorate these further. I have another one over here, and because I moved this out a little bit more, it fits better. It will spin easier, but the other one is just fine. And then finally, we have our belly band down low so that it's going to catch on that sentiment. And when we open up, we have that beautiful card in there as well. So the inside is all covered. Nothing's catching on each other, meaning when I close it, nothing's crinkling or anything else. I would have heard that as I picked it up. So that is an awesome thing. What we are going to do is decorate the outside of our book and our spine. And again, I'll be featuring the Snowflake card maker, and I will be working on these covers. I will probably have the spine on already. It's a strip of paper, not doing anything else to that. And then I'll be working with the back as well. Once we have that decorated, our album will be done. So thank you. I know I changed it at last minute. I'm so sorry for those of you that were looking forward to card 4 and 5. So sorry. But again, I think if I would have done it, she would have looked like this. And I think that would have been too dramatic of an alligator mouth going on there. So look at card 4 coming on to the front, and maybe a different style coming in on the back. So let's look at it that way. We always change as we're creating, and that's the beauty of it. We can change our minds in mid-flow to continue with the piece of art that we are creating. The products that I used will be listed down below, and basically it's going to be the collection from Bibi called Snowflakes. It's a beautiful collection, so please make sure you check that out. I'll also have a link to Spellbinders Gallery with even more inspiration if you just want to make a card. If you have any questions, make sure you leave those down below as well. I know it's a lot of information, but again, showing you a different way to stretch your stash, stretch these dies and stamps so that you can create something different other than a card. We can do anything we want with what we have. Enjoy the art you create. Enjoy the process. Have fun with the process. I am loving this. I love making these kind of clears out, but something will be coming soon as well that also clears your mind as well. So stay tuned for that, and also stay tuned for the last episode in this series. Again, front, back, spine, and the final reveal with all of the embellishments that I added, and sparkle and shine. If you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. Make sure you ring the bell so that you know that you will be notified for this series and for the last final episode. If you want to go back to the beginning and you're just stopping in now, I will have the link to the first video down below. Have fun. Remember what's most important though. Always be creative. And guys, I'll talk to you in the next one. Till then.